start first of all with the love me not storyline, Brandon Aiyuk. 49ers are really fed up. Brandon Aiyuk wants a contract upgrade. They met and they talked about economics 101 and all the things that San Francisco's got to deal with. He came out of that private meeting with John Lynch and said, I understand. By the end of that week, he was back on social media. I want to trade. I want out. San Francisco said, we'll make a deal. San Francisco had a deal in New England. They could have traded him by now. New England was willing to give up, I believe, a number 2 and maybe a player. But a number 2 in New England is going to be fairly high on the draft board because of how substandard Patriot roster is. New England was prepared to offer him $28 million a year. That'd take him from $14 million to $28, almost to the top of the line of the star wide receivers. Aiyuk turned him down. Said, I won't. Now, he doesn't have a no trade, but he let it be known, I will not accept a trade and I will not report to the New England Patriots. So now San Francisco's really peeved.
Yeah.
So they went back and they have reopened talks with the Steelers and the Browns. Browns evidently are offering veteran wide receiver Amari Cooper, but he's making big money. He's making like 24, 25 now because Cleveland upgraded his contract. I don't think San Francisco wants to take on a $25 million contract for a much older receiver, though Cooper's a much more proven product than the explosive young guy Aiyuk is. Pittsburgh evidently is willing to take on a contract, evidently willing to give up a number 1, and willing to give him a big salary, which is not the way Pittsburgh historically has done business. But the 49ers want a wide receiver in return from Aiyuk. So that's a big issue right now is this whole thing is just unraveled because he turned down the opportunity to go play in New England. New England, I don't think has much of a chance of having a winning season, but if he gets his money, and that's what this is all about. He can go to Pittsburgh, and he'd be a contributor with the other wide receiver, George Pickens, and the tight end, and obviously Russell Wilson. I just don't know where the whole Cleveland storyline is there, but if Frisco won't take on Amari Cooper, then I don't think that's a trade partner that they can do business with the Browns. So you got that. LA Rams, this is not who we are. Sean McVay is not handling all these injuries very well. They now have 6 key guys out, including 3 of their top 5 offensive linemen with injuries, knees, shoulders. They've gotten so desperate at this late date. They've gone into the UFL, the Spring League. They've signed 3 offensive linemen from the UFL. Those guys are like players 1800, 1801, 1802, 1803 on the pecking order because everybody's got 90 guys in camp.
Right.
So it's absurd. And McVay is not handling this adversity really well. You got the Dallas situation. You got CD Lamb. He is running up a stack of fines. I'm not good in new math, but they've been in camp, I want to say, probably 12 days now in Oxnard at $50,000 a day fine.
$600,000.
6 bills. Now, they say they're going to take care of CD Lamb, but that's $600,000 that he won't have. That's absolutely amazing. College football, a couple of notes. I guess we should expect this to have come when those guys, Southern Cal, went there, Big Ten. Lincoln Riley this week indicated, in all likelihood, the USC is going to end their rivalry with Notre Dame. Goes back to 1926. Only a couple years, and at the height of World War II, those games were not played. This is quite an intersectional rivalry. And his reaction, we have to do something schedule-wise. And in the non-conference, we can't play every big boy because we're playing every big boy in the Big Ten Conference. So this is kind of nasty that it looks like this is going to go away, this Trojan-Irish rivalry. Like I said, goes back to 1926. I think this year it'll be the 95th meeting between the schools. And then there's San Diego State. Am I the only one that's excited to see what Sean Lewis unveils Saturday in their fan fest at Snapdragon? I must be, because there is no excitement in this community. I don't understand why. John, when they opened Snapdragon Stadium, they had 15,986 season ticket holders. They have 5,800 now.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that terrible? I
It
mean,
is.
they've lost so much support. Bad product on the field, Neanderthal offense, ticket prices way too high, and they've dropped ticket prices twice now as they go to year 3. They can't get the fans back. And last I checked, there were a hell of a lot of deposed Charger fans in our community with no place to go see games. Why would you not put your arms around a good program? And the program under Brady Hoke, Rocky Long, and Brady Hoke Revisited has been pretty good with the exception of just the last 2 seasons when there's been slippage. And now you get this bright light guy coming from Colorado who had set all types of offensive records at CU, then at Kent State, before that at Bowling Green and Syracuse. And nobody is talking about the Aztecs, and nobody's buying season tickets for the Aztecs. Just shocking. So those are football storylines, and John Riley's got an opinion on a few, I imagine.
I do. And so the Aztec thing, I'm personally very curious, to see how this is going to play out. But I'd imagine the fan base is similar. They're kind of wait and see to see how this works. But if they win, they will show up. I guarantee you. They sell out Viejas Arena. They will come to Snapdragon if this team is a winner. Going to the other topics, SC, that is weak sauce, bailing on Notre Dame. They probably want to trade them in for some cupcake on the schedule. I think that's horrible. And it's kind of cool that Notre Dame is right there in the geographitic area of the Big Ten. So I wish they would keep that. The Niners, Aiyuk, show me the money. They showed it to him. And he says, I don't want to go to New England. I mean, if you're John Lynch Jr., you got to be just furious.
Yeah, and John's got so many issues that he's got to deal with because he's still got the Brock Purdy issue.
Yeah.
And he's paying a phenomenal amount of money to Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle and Nick Bosa. There's only so many dollars in the till. I have no doubt, and also paying Deebo Samuel, I have no doubt that Aiyuk is going to be a big-time player somewhere else. I mean, he did catch 75 receptions last year as the alternate receiver. He averaged 18 yards per catch as the other guy opposite Deebo. He caught 7 touchdowns. But now he's trying to dictate where to go, and he doesn't have a no-trade clause. I just don't know how this is going to work itself out, except that it's become a big bleep and distraction.
Where did Aiyuk go to college?
Arizona State. Late developer.
Okay, because I don't remember hearing about him in college football.
He was okay, but he's grown. I mean, he's just a tremendous physical athlete. But he's only had one banner season in the National Football League. And he wants to go from $14 million to obviously more than $28 million because that was the deal that New England had agreed to.
That's doubling his salary.
No, it's not. He's not going there.
No, he's not going. Yeah.
Okay, those are football topics on the table. So somebody is an NFL fan jumping board. Any 49er people? How does John Lynch solve this situation? You want to talk about USC? Are there any Aztec fans out there? Please explain to me why the hell you don't put your arms around this college football program. We know how you put your arms around basketball. Why are you not an Aztec football fan? Last I checked, there's nothing else in this community football related that would turn you on. So jump on board. Fans Forum chat box is open because you're going to take over this show when we are done.